Mae Rafferty calls her lumber store in Grants Pass home. She says she's always there, working with her husband, Jim.
My husband's got an old flatbed, which he'll use on occasion.
Between moving planks, she's campaigning for governor.
Governor Kitzhaber doesn't go along with the death penalty, and, I think it's, something that we should be doing.
Rafferty's customers see her stance on certain issues.
Of course, the Cover Oregon, and I guess they've decided to scrap that in favor of going with the federal exchange. But I don't even like the federal exchange. I think Obamacare is, it violates our religious rights for one, and it really isn't constitutional.
Cover Oregon is something Dennis Richardson is familiar with.
Hello there, how are you doing?
Fine, welcome to the Richardsons.
The gubernatorial candidate and his wife led us into their Central Point home.
All right, well, let's step into the study here for a moment.
He's a retired attorney who's running for family.
We have 1 son and 8 daughters.
Branching to 31 grandkids, the now state representative says Governor Kitzhaber ignored Richardson's warning of Cover Oregon's failure.
So we've wasted all this money. The governor had responsibility to see that it got taken care of. He failed to do it, and it's time for the people to realize that this is just another failed project, one after another. What we need is leadership and responsibility for the people's money, and we're not getting that.
Hi!
Money and jobs. That's how Gordon Challstrom introduced his gubernatorial campaign focus to us.
Whether you're an Eastern Oregon rancher, a high-tech firm from Bend, a logger in the Cascade, or a fisherman from the coast, we need to get all Oregonians working in one direction and stop this divisiveness and get everybody rowing in the same direction. And they were out here swimming.
Retired from running his cement business, the Medford resident shows off family hangouts and his '56 Chevy pickup.
And that's my grandson, Jackson. He loves it, and standing in front of it.
Challstrom, Richardson, and Rafferty reside in Southern Oregon. Having half of the Republican gubernatorial candidates from down south is rare, compared to the last 2 primaries in 2010 and 2006. For this year's primary, one of them will be chosen to face John Kitzhaber, who's seeking an unprecedented 4th term come November. But before these candidates run against the Democratic incumbent, they must run against each other.
With my grandchildren, I want better for their future than what they're getting. And their future is being robbed and it's being leveraged. The amount of debt this state has, the amount of debt this nation has, is going to be taking the future away from my grandchildren. And they didn't vote for any of those people. Somebody's got to stand up for the families and the small businessmen of this state. I didn't see anybody doing it, so I threw my hat in the ring.
The object here is not so much to win as it is to stand up for my beliefs and hopefully encourage other people to do the same, because if we don't, we're losing our country. And it's very, very important that we start standing up for what we believe.
I believe the majority of Oregonians are going to say, regardless of party, that we want a change that will lead toward greater opportunity, greater freedom, greater prosperity, and not define success by your eligibility for food stamps or health care or all of these other state and federal programs. What we need is to restore the pioneer legacy that Oregon has had in the past.
This is really the center of the family here in the table.
Instead of just directing a home,
I did suggest when the first daughter was getting married that maybe we all ought to go together and go and pick the gown, and that way we could do just some adjustments along the way, and they could use the same gown for all the weddings.
or business. These local candidates want to govern a state.